Commander Jun Kim stood at the bridge of the Pathfinder Earth's first faster-than-light ship. His hands gripped the railing as he stared at the massive alien vessel on the main screen. It was 3 times the size of his ship and covered with strange symbols. This was humanity's first meeting with aliens, and his palms were sweating. "Sir, they're hailing us again," said Lieutenant Sun, her voice steady despite the tension. June took a deep breath. "Open the channel." The screen changed to show a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 eyes and a ridge of bone where hair would be on a human. "I am High Commander Rezek of the Stellar Concord. You will follow our ship to the nearest outpost for inspection and classification." Jun straightened his back. "This is Commander Jun Kim of Earth's vessel Pathfinder *. We come in peace and wish to establish friendly relations." The alien made a clicking sound that might have been laughter. "Yes, all new species say that. You will be evaluated properly. Your vessel seems primitive. Follow our guidance signals." The communication ended abruptly. "Friendly bunch," muttered Sun. June frowned. "Send a message back to Earth. Tell them we've made contact and are being escorted to an alien station. And Sun, tell them to be ready for anything." 3 days later, June sat at a large round table surrounded by representatives from 7 different alien species. The room was too warm for humans, and the chairs were uncomfortable for his body shape. He tried not to show his discomfort as the alien studied him. "Humans are quite frail," said Razek, a massive reptilian alien with natural armor plates covering his body. "No claws, no armor, weak muscles compared to most spacefaring races. How did you survive evolution?" June kept his face neutral. "We adapted in other ways." "Indeed," said a thin, graceful alien named Ilari. "Their brain development is impressive for such a young species." "Their homeworld had easy conditions," said another alien, this one with 6 limbs and metallic scales. "They never had to truly struggle." June almost laughed. If only they knew Earth's history. The meeting ended with a declaration. Earth was classified as a protected developing world. Humans could travel in space, but only in certain areas. Earth could trade with the Concord, but couldn't have certain technologies. And humans would need permission to establish colonies. It felt like being put in a playpen. Back on Earth, the Concord established an embassy in the newly built Space Diplomatic Center in Seoul. Ships from the Concord arrived, bringing diplomats, scientists, and traders eager to study the newest species in the galaxy. Hannah Park worked in the center's biology lab. As a xenobiologist, she was among the first humans to study alien biology up close. The aliens were just as interested in studying humans. Today, she was examining blood samples from the Vex, a warrior species known for their strength and aggression. Her microscope showed something strange. "Dr. Lee, can you look at this?" she called to her colleague. Dr. Lee peered into the microscope. "These cells, they don't look natural." "Exactly," said Hannah. "I've seen similar patterns in our genetically modified crops. I think the Vex have been genetically engineered." Dr. Lee looked troubled. "That doesn't match what they've told us about their evolution." Hannah kept her voice low. "I've seen similar signs in samples from 3 other Concord species. I think someone has been modifying these races." At the Earth Defense Headquarters, Commander Jun Kim was having a difficult meeting with General Kang and the Concord military liaison, a Vex named Commander Tarek. "These restrictions are unacceptable," said General Kang. "You limit our ship numbers, our weapon capabilities, and our patrol areas. How are we supposed to defend ourselves?" Tarek stood a full head taller than either human. His gray skin was lined with scars, and his yellow eyes showed no emotion. "The Concord will protect Earth. Your ships would only get in the way." "With all respect," said June, "we've defended ourselves for thousands of years. We don't need handlers." "Handlers." Tarek made that strange clicking sound again. "Commander, your people are like children to us. Your strongest soldier couldn't match even a young Vex. Your fastest ships are toys compared to ours. The universe is dangerous. Accept our protection and be grateful." After Tarek left, General Kang looked at June. "We need to accelerate our defense programs. I don't trust them." "Agreed," said June. "But we need to be smart about it. They're watching everything we do." Hana Park walked quickly through the rain to meet June at a small restaurant far from the diplomatic center. They had known each other since university, before their paths took them to very different careers. "Thanks for meeting me," she said, sliding into the booth. "I couldn't risk talking at the center." June looked concerned. "What's wrong?" Hana showed him her tablet with the lab results. "The Concord species have been modified genetically. All of them, in different ways. The Vex were made stronger. The Ilari were given enhanced intelligence. Each race was pushed toward specialization." "Who did this to them?" asked June. "I think they did it to themselves, or at least the ruling members did. They've been designing their own evolution." June considered this. "And now they're studying us intensely." "You think?" "I think they're planning to improve us too," said Hana. "I found plans in their database about human genetic potential. They're focusing on our endurance and adaptability." June's face darkened. "We need to get this information to Earth's leaders immediately. And we need to find out what the Concord really wants with us. No advanced civilization spends this much time and resources on a primitive species out of kindness." 3 days later, June was called to an emergency meeting at the diplomatic center. When he arrived, the atmosphere was tense. Representatives from all major Earth governments were present, along with the highest-ranking Concord officials. High Commander Razak stood at the center. "We have called this meeting to inform you of a grave threat. The Stellar Concord is at war with an entity known as the Void Collective. They destroy all life in their path. Until now, we have kept them away from your sector, but they are advancing." Images appeared on the large screen showing strange black ships and devastated planets. "The Concord now requires Earth's assistance in this conflict. Your ships will be fitted with Concord weapons and placed under our command. Your soldiers will be trained by our officers." President Lee of the United Earth Alliance stood up. "This is the first we're hearing of this war. You expect us to commit our forces without discussion or preparation." Razak's 4 eyes blinked slowly. "You misunderstand. This is not a request. Earth is part of Concord protected space. Your participation is mandatory." After heated arguments, the Earth leaders reluctantly agreed to a limited partnership. As the meeting ended, Commander Tarek approached June. "Your ships will join my battle group," said Tarek. "I hope your people can follow simple orders, at least." June met his gaze. "My people might surprise you, Commander." Tarek made the clicking sound again. "I doubt it. Humans are weak. You'll serve best as a distraction for the enemy while real warriors do the fighting." As Tarek walked away, June pulled out his phone and texted Hana. "We need to learn everything about this Void Collective. And we need to prepare our people. The Concord doesn't see us as allies. They see us as cannon fodder." Later that night, as June looked at the stars from his apartment window, he thought about Earth's history. Humans had always been underestimated. We had survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and our own worst instincts. Now we faced our greatest challenge. The aliens thought humans were weak. They would learn how wrong they were. 3 years had passed since first contact. Earth's military now worked with the Stellar Concord, but not as equals. The Concord treated humans like children playing at war. Lieutenant Dayun stood at attention on the bridge of his ship, the Corvette Defiant Asterisk. At 32, he was young for a commander, but Earth needed leaders fast. The Defiant Asterisk was small compared to alien ships, but it was fast and well armed with the new weapons the Concord had reluctantly shared. "Lieutenant, the Vex flagship is hailing us," said his communications officer. The screen lit up showing Commander Tarek's scared face. "Human ships will take position at Sector 7. Follow the battle plan exactly." Day studied the plan on his screen and frowned. Commander, that puts Earth ships directly in the path of the Void Fleet with minimal support. Are you questioning orders, human? Tarek's yellow eyes narrowed. I'm pointing out a tactical concern, said Da calmly. Your concerns are noted. Follow your orders. The screen went dark. Day's second-in-command, Jin, moved closer. Sir, they're using us as bait, possibly even sacrifices. I know, said Da. Alert all Earth ships. We follow orders, but we do it our way. In Seoul, Hana Park walked quickly through the underground lab. For the past 3 years, she had been part of a secret Earth project studying both the Concord and the Void Collective. Today, she had news. Commander Jung Kim, now an admiral, waited in the secure meeting room with General Kang and 3 other military leaders. Thank you for coming on short notice, said Hana, setting up her presentation. I found something important in the Concord data we've borrowed. The screen showed complex genetic diagrams. The Concord has been genetically engineering their member species for centuries. They reshape each race to fill specific roles in their society. We suspected this, said Admiral Kim. What's new? Hana changed the display. They've been doing preliminary work on humans too. Small experiments, testing how to enhance our endurance and adaptability. They see these as our only valuable traits. General Kang slammed his hand on the table. Without permission. This is an act of war. There's more, said Hana. I found data on the Void Collective. The Concord has been fighting them for over a century, not just recently as they claimed. And the Void specifically avoids direct conflict with humans when possible. Admiral Kim leaned forward. They're afraid of us. Why? I don't know yet, said Hana, but I think it's important. In deep space, the battle had begun. The Void Collective ships were black, with strange purple energy flowing across their hulls. They moved like living things rather than machines. The Defiant Asterisk shook as enemy fire hit its shields. Shields at 60%, reported the tactical officer. Day watched as 2 Earth ships exploded nearby. The Concord reinforcements were nowhere to be seen. This wasn't just bad tactics, it was deliberate sacrifice. All Earth ships. This is Lieutenant Yoon, he said over the secure Earth channel. New plan. Form up in triangle formation. We're punching through their line at these coordinates. Jin looked at him with wide eyes. Sir, that's not the Concord battle plan. The Concord plan gets us all killed for nothing, said Da. We're going to hit them where it hurts. The human ships moved together, forming a tight group. The Void ships adjusted to track them. Full power to forward shields, ordered Da. When I give the word, all ships fire at the same point. We're making a hole. The Defiant Asterisk led the charge, accelerating toward the largest enemy ship. At the last moment, Da shouted, Fire. 20 human ships fired at once. Their combined weapons tore a hole in the Void ship's defenses. Now full speed through the gap. The G-forces pushed Da back into his seat as the ship accelerated beyond safe limits. The crew held on, their bodies straining but enduring the pressure that would have killed most Concord species. They broke through the enemy line and found themselves behind the Void fleet. The enemy ships turned slowly, confused by the unexpected move. Target their engines and fire at will. On the Vex command ship, Tarak watched in disbelief as the human ships executed a maneuver his own pilots couldn't survive. Impossible, he muttered. The D-forces alone should have killed them. His tactical officer looked equally surprised. The humans have broken through the Void line. They're attacking from behind. They abandoned the battle plan, said Tarak angrily. They would have all died following it, said a voice behind him. Tarak turned to see Ilari, the thin, graceful alien who served as the Concord's science advisor. Their ships were meant to distract the enemy while we positioned our main force, said Tarak. Ilari's large eyes blinked slowly. You mean they were sacrifices. Yet now they've created an opportunity. The Void Fleet is caught between our forces and theirs. On the screen, the human ships continue their attack, moving with surprising speed and coordination. "Order our fleet to attack now," said Ilari. "The humans have given us a chance to win." The battle lasted 3 more hours. When it ended, the Void Fleet had been destroyed, but at a heavy cost. Half the human ships were lost, and the rest were damaged. The Defiant limped back to the rendezvous point, its hull breached in multiple places and half its systems offline. Da had a broken arm and 3 cracked ribs from the extreme maneuvers, but he refused to leave the bridge. When Tarek's face appeared on the view screen, Da expected anger. Instead, the Vex commander looked at him with something new in his yellow eyes. Not quite respect, but perhaps revaluation. "Your tactics were effective, Lieutenant," said Tarek, "though highly irregular." "We did what was needed to survive and complete the mission," said Da. "The G-forces your ships endured would have killed my pilots," admitted Tarek. "Humans are tougher than we look," said Da. After the communication ended, Jin helped Da to the medical bay. "Do you think they'll finally see us as equals now?" she asked. Da shook his head. "Not yet, but they're starting to see us." Back on Earth, Admiral Kim met with Hannah in the secret lab. "The battle reports are interesting," he said. "The Void ships specifically targeted Concord vessels, even when our ships were easier targets." Hannah nodded. "They fear something about the Concord. Or perhaps they fear something the Concord knows." "And what about the human experiments?" "Continuing in secret," said Hannah. "But I have a new theory. The Concord isn't just enhancing its member species. I think they've been running a long-term breeding program, guiding evolution along certain paths." "To what end?" "I'm not sure yet," said Hannah, "but I found references to something called the pattern in their most classified files. Whatever it is, they're terrified the Void will destroy it." Admiral Kim looked troubled. "Keep digging. In the meantime, I'll make sure our ships get better positions in the fleet." Commander Tarek's report actually praised Lieutenant Yoon's unexpected initiative in the battle. "They're learning," said Hannah. "Yes," said Admiral Kim. "They thought we were weak. But now they're seeing us fight." As they spoke, in deep space, Void ships gathered in greater numbers than ever before. The real war was just beginning. And this time, humans would not be mere sacrifices in someone else's battle plan. 6 months after the battle where Lieutenant Da Yoon changed Concord tactics, humans were gaining more respect in the war against the Void Collective. But that respect came at a high price. Human ships had the highest casualty rates of any Concord allies, yet they kept fighting. Colonel Min Lee stood in a large training room at the new Joint Species Combat Center. 20 soldiers from 5 different species looked back at him. Most of them towered over his human frame. "Welcome to Special Tactics Unit 7, he said clearly. "You were all chosen for your skills and experience. Together, we will create new ways to fight the Void." A Vex soldier named Kraz stepped forward. His muscles bulged under his gray skin. "Why is a human leading this unit? Your kind is physically the weakest here." Min smiled calmly. "Attack me." Kraz looked confused. "What? You think I'm weak? Prove it. Attack me." The other aliens watched with interest as Kraz lunged forward, his massive arms reaching for Min. The human officer sidestepped quickly, used Kraz's momentum against him, and in one smooth motion had the much larger alien on the floor with his arm locked behind him. Min helped the surprised Vex up. "Strength isn't everything. This unit will focus on using all our different skills together. The Void adapts quickly to standard tactics. We need to be unpredictable." A tall, thin Ilari raised her hand. "What will we learn first, Colonel?" "First," said Min, "we learn to survive. The Void specifically targets certain brain patterns. They can sense the neural signatures of most Concord species from a distance, but they can't sense humans the same way." "Why not?" asked a reptilian Tark soldier. "We don't know yet," said Min. but we'll use it to our advantage. In her lab beneath Seoul, Hana Park worked late into the night. Admiral Kim sat across from her, studying the data on her screens. "The pattern," said Hana, pointing to a complex display. "I finally found what it means. The Concord has been guiding their member species' evolution towards specific neural patterns." "Why?" asked Admiral Kim. "They believe it leads to higher consciousness, a way to transcend physical form eventually." Admiral Kim frowned. "And the Void Collective targets these specific patterns." "Exactly," said Hana. "The Void can detect and track these neural signatures across vast distances. It's how they find Concord worlds. But they can't detect humans the same way." Hana shook her head. "Our brains develop differently. We're basically invisible to their long-range detection. That's why Colonel Min's special units are so effective," said Admiral Kim. "The Void can't see them coming." "There's more," said Hana. "I've analyzed the Void's attack patterns. They don't just attack Concord worlds. They specifically target worlds where the Concord has established these neural patterns in the population." "You're saying this isn't just a war," said Admiral Kim. "It's some kind of purge." Hana nodded. "The Void Collective is systematically eliminating species with these specific neural patterns from the galaxy." On a distant moon base, Colonel Min's special unit faced their first real test. The base had been attacked by Void forces, and all communication was lost. Stu-7 was sent to investigate and rescue any survivors. Their ship landed silently, using the new stealth technology developed by human engineers. The team moved through the damaged base, finding signs of battle, but no bodies. "Where is everyone?" asked Taylor, the Illyri soldier. "There were 300 people stationed here." "Taken," said Kraz, examining strange burn marks on the walls. "The Void doesn't leave bodies." Min checked the base's computer systems. According to the logs, they were specifically looking for the research team. The attack was targeted. A loud bang echoed through the corridor. The team raised their weapons as a figure stumbled toward them. It was a Concord scientist, badly injured but alive. "You need to destroy it all," he gasped. "The research. They want the research." Min caught the scientist as he collapsed. "What research? What were you working on here?" "Neural mapping," whispered the scientist. "The next stage of the pattern." They came for it, knew exactly where to look. The team moved deeper into the base, toward the main research lab. When they reached it, they found the doors torn open and equipment destroyed. "They took the data," said Min, checking the central computer. "But maybe not all of it." He connected a small device to the system and began downloading backup files. "Movement outside," reported Taylor, checking the sensors. "Many signatures. Void forces returning." "We're trapped," said Kraz. "No way back to the ship." Min looked around the damaged lab. "Then we make a new way out. Taylor, can you reconfigure these power cells? Kraz, help me with these panels." The aliens looked confused but followed his orders. Within minutes, Min had created a makeshift explosive device. "This will blow a hole through the east wall," he explained. "The maintenance tunnels on that side lead to the secondary landing pad." "But the explosion will alert the Void forces," said a Tark soldier. "Yes," said Min. "So we need a distraction." He handed the detonator to Kraz. "When I give the signal, blow the wall and get everyone to the tunnels." "Where will you be?" asked Tila. Min checked his weapon. "Creating your distraction." When the rest of Stu-7 reached the secondary landing pad, they found an old transport ship. "Can anyone fly this model?" asked Kraz. Tella stepped forward. "I can adapt." She began working on the controls. Outside, they heard weapons fire and explosions as Min led the Void forces away from their position. "He won't survive alone," said Kraz. The Tark soldier checked the ship's systems. "We have one pulse cannon working. I can provide covering fire." As they prepared for takeoff, Min's voice came through their comms. "I've reached the main generator. When I overload it, You'll have 30 seconds to clear the area. We're not leaving you, said Kraz. There was a pause. I thought you didn't like humans, Kraz. I didn't. Now hurry up. Minutes later, as the transport ship cleared the moon's atmosphere, the base exploded in a blinding flash. No life signs, said Tella quietly. Then their communications crackled. Looking for a ride? Min's voice came through, strained but alive. The ship turned back to find Min standing on a small ridge, waving his arms. His uniform was torn and bloody, but he was grinning. How did you survive that? Asked Kraz as they brought him aboard. I found a maintenance shaft with heavy shielding, said Min. And I ran. Humans are good at running when we need to be. You are full of surprises, said Tayla. Back at Concord headquarters, S-27's mission was classified as a complete success. The data Min recovered revealed how deeply the Void had infiltrated Concord security. They knew exactly where to strike and when. The Void is searching for something specific in the neural research, Min told Admiral Kim later. And they're getting more desperate. Hannah's team is working on a theory, said the Admiral. In the meantime, your unit has been given priority status. The Concord is actually taking our approaches seriously now. They're learning that human ingenuity can be as powerful as any weapon, said Min. As they spoke, on the far side of the galaxy, the largest Void fleet ever detected was assembling. Its target, Earth. Admiral Jun Kim stood on the bridge of the Defiance Asterisk, Earth's newest and largest warship. Through the view screen, he watched as hundreds of ships gathered in Earth orbit. Most were human vessels, hastily upgraded with Concord technology. Only a small number of alien ships had arrived to help. Status report, he said to his bridge crew. Void fleet will arrive in 6 hours, said his tactical officer. Their numbers are massive, sir. At least 5 times larger than any previous force we've encountered. And the Concord reinforcements. The communications officer looked up. Most are engaged in battles across 3 other sectors. High Commander Rizak says they can spare only 40 ships. June frowned. Earth was on its own against the largest Void attack ever seen. The Concord had left them exposed. His personal communicator beeped. It was Hannah. Admiral, I need to see you immediately. We found something. In her lab, Hannah showed June and Colonel Minley what her team had discovered. The Void Collective isn't a natural species, she explained. It's controlled by an ancient artificial intelligence. We found references to it in the oldest Concord records. And I asked Min, how old? According to these files, at least 50,000 years, said Hannah. It was created by a species long extinct. The AI decided that certain neural patterns represented a threat to its existence. The pattern, said June. Hannah nodded. The Concord has been developing these neural patterns specifically to achieve higher consciousness. But the Void AI sees these patterns as potential competitors. It's been systematically eliminating them from the galaxy for millennia. And humans? Asked Min. Our brains evolved differently. We don't naturally develop these patterns, which is why the Void can't detect us easily. But now they're coming for Earth because we're helping the Concord. June studied the data. Is there a way to use this against them? Hannah pulled up a new screen. Yes, I've developed a computer virus that targets the Void Eye's specific architecture. If we can upload it to their main control ship, it should disrupt their entire network. How do we get it there? Asked Min. June's face was grim. We bring them to us, then we board their command ship. 2 hours later, June presented his plan to Earth's Defense Council and the Concord representatives, including Commander Tarek. This is madness, said Tarek when June finished. You want to let the Void fleet approach Earth, then attempt a boarding action on their command ship. The risk is unacceptable. The alternative is to face them in open space where they outnumber us 5-1, said June. At least this way we fight near our planet's defense systems. No Concord species could survive boarding a Void vessel, said an Ilari counselor. Their ships are filled with radiation that kills our kind within minutes. Humans have higher radiation tolerance, said Colonel Min, and we've developed shielding that will give us enough time. It's still a suicide mission, said Tarek. June looked at him steadily. Sometimes that's what it takes to win. After much argument, the plan was approved. Earth's ships would form a defensive line, drawing the Void Fleet into range of the planet's massive defense platforms. Meanwhile, a small strike team led by Colonel Min would attempt to board the Void command ship and upload Hana's virus. As the meeting ended, Tarek approached June. "Your species continues to surprise me, Admiral," he said. "When we first met, I thought humans were weak. Now I see your strength lies elsewhere." "In our stubbornness, perhaps," said June. "In your refusal to accept defeat," corrected Tarek. "My warriors will support your boarding team. It would be an honor to fight alongside humans in this battle." The Void Fleet arrived exactly as predicted. Thousands of black ships, pulsing with purple energy, filled Earth's sky. The sight was terrifying, but Earth was ready. The Defiance led the human fleet to meet them. The Earth ships were heavily outnumbered, but they had positioned themselves carefully to draw the enemy into a trap. "All ships, hold position," ordered June. "Let them come to us." The Void ships advanced, their strange energy weapons firing. Human vessels took damage, but held their line. "Wait for it," said June as the enemy drew closer. "Wait. Now. All platforms, open fire." Hundreds of defense platforms hidden around Earth's orbit activated at once, catching the Void Fleet in devastating crossfire. Enemy ships exploded in bright flashes of light. On the bridge of the Defiance Jun watched as Colonel Min's small, stealthy ship detached and moved toward the massive Void command vessel. "Good luck, Min," he said quietly. Colonel Min felt the jolt as their ship attached to the hull of the Void command vessel. With him were 6 human soldiers and 4 Vex warriors, including Kraz. "Remember, we have 30 minutes before radiation exposure becomes critical," said Min. "Move fast. Stay together." They cut through the Void ship's hull and entered a strange, pulsing corridor. The air felt wrong, and their radiation meters immediately began climbing. "This way," said Min, following the signal of the ship's central computer core. They encountered resistance almost immediately. Strange, semi-mechanical creatures attacked from all sides. The team fought their way deeper into the ship, taking losses with each battle. After 20 minutes of fighting, only Min, Kraz, and 2 human soldiers remained. They reached a massive chamber where a glowing purple sphere pulsated with energy. "That's it," said Min. "The AI core." As they approached, a voice filled their minds. "Humans. Eyes. You do not belong with THEPATT or in Bearis. It's speaking to us," said Kraz in surprise. "What do you protect those who would you? The Concord will ERAC, what makes you unique?" Min moved forward with the virus device. "We protect those who need protection. That's what humans do. Your URL architecture is valuable. Different. Join us instead." "Not interested," said Min, attaching the device to the core. "Hana, we're in position. Starting upload." Through their comms, Hana's voice came through with static. "Understood. Upload initiated." The AI seemed to scream in their minds as the virus began its work. The ship shuddered around them. "Time to go," said Min. But before they could move, parts of the chamber collapsed, blocking their escape route. "We're trapped," said Kraz. Min looked at the radiation meter on his suit. It was nearly in the red zone. "The ship will self-destruct when the virus completes. We need to find another way out." On the Defiance Jun watched as the battle turned in Earth's favor. The Void ships were moving erratically, their coordinated attacks falling apart. "It's working," said his tactical officer. "The virus is disrupting their network." "Any word from Colonel Min's team?" asked June. The communications officer shook her head. No signal since they confirmed the upload started. Suddenly, the massive Void command ship began to glow brightly. "Energy buildup detected," reported the science officer. "It's going to." The Void command ship exploded in a blinding flash. At the same moment, all across the battlefield, the remaining Void ships went dark and drifted powerless in space. "They did it," said June quietly. "They actually did it." As the crew celebrated, the communications officer looked up in shock. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission." It's Colonel Min." "Put it through," said June immediately. Min's voice came through, weak but clear. "Request pickup. We found an escape pod at the last minute. There are 3 of us alive." "How did you survive that explosion?" asked June in amazement. There was a chuckle over the comm. "Human stubbornness, sir, and a little help from our Vex friend." 1 month later, representatives from all Concord species gathered in Seoul for a formal ceremony. Humans were no longer classified as a protected developing world. Earth was now granted full membership in the Stellar Concord. High Commander Rezek presented Admiral Kim with the Concord's highest honor. "Humanity has proven itself not just equal, but exceptional," said Rezek. "What we once saw as weakness was in fact your greatest strength. Your adaptability, endurance, and willingness to sacrifice for others are qualities the Concord will strive to learn from." Commander Terek approached Colonel Min after the ceremony. The Vex warrior bowed deeply, a sign of profound respect in his culture. "My people have requested that human officers help train our warriors," said Terek. "We wish to learn the strength that comes not from muscle or armor, but from here." He touched his chest where a human heart would be. As the celebrations continued around them, Hannah stood with June near a window overlooking the city. "They've stopped all genetic manipulation programs," she said. "The Concord has agreed that natural diversity is more valuable than forced evolution." "They needed us to show them that," said June. "Sometimes the universe needs a reminder that true strength isn't always obvious." Outside, humans and aliens walked together under Earth's sky. They had faced extinction together and survived. They had learned that appearances could be deceiving, and that even the smallest, seemingly weakest species could change the course of a galactic war. Because they thought humans were weak. Until they saw us fight.